Committee meeting. At this point, I'd like to call this meeting to order and read the accessibility statement. Again, sorry for my voice. This meeting is accessible to people with disabilities.
Even, do you want me to read it to save your
No,
voice?
no, I'm good.
Okay.
Microphones or telephones will be used by all speakers. Large print materials are available on advance request. If you'd like either of these accommodations, please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833. The notice of non-discrimination rights and protections to beneficiaries with regard to federal Title VI non-discrimination protections and the state non-discrimination protections is posted in this meeting room and is available on the Old Colony Planning Council website. Please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833 for more information. Thank you very much. And now can we have a roll call, Mary?
Yes. Christine Joy,
Present.
Stephen Santasonio,
Present.
Pat Chiamella,
Present.
Charlie Kilmer,
Present.
and Sean Noel.
Present.
In addition, we have Becky Coletta, Brenda Robeson, Megan Fournier, and myself, Mary Waldron.
Thank you, Mary. Item number 2 on the agenda is the review of the June 25th, 2025 meeting minutes. Do we have any questions on that?
Nope.
Nope.
I'll make a motion. We accept the June 2025 meeting minutes as presented.
Thank you, Christine. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Pat. Mary, can we have a roll call?
Yes, Christine Joy,
Accept.
Stephen Santasonio,
Accept.
Pat Chiamella,
Accept.
Charlie Kilmer,
Accept.
and Sean Noel.
Accept.
Thank you, everyone. In item number 3 in the agenda, overview of trust performance.
Thanks, Megan.
Sure.
Can you just make that just a little bit bigger? Thank you.
So I made this chart up. Brenda asked me to put something that we could, kind of be for the for the Finance and Audit Committee, just to be able to kind of show them what type of performance. And it's, pretty straightforward. Out of the last 12 months, we've had 11 months with a gain. So that has been positive. We are back on track with our regular contributions. Starting in November, we had, that period in the late summer and the early fall where we had the issue with the fraudulent check getting stolen, and then establishing the wire transfer process. You can see those contributions in October and November, where we did the test contribution in October for $5 and then made up the balance in November. And then we had our December contribution. January's contribution will be made tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So, like I said, for the first time, we have crossed the $1.5 million mark in terms of the valuation of the fund. Fees continue to stay pretty reasonable. They have been increasing over past years, but they're also based on the balance increasing as well. So, we've seen between contributions and gain in the fund, we've seen $270,000 worth of increase run up against $4,000 worth of expense. So, let me see here. So again, since we moved to PCOT, we've seen an increase of 32.82% in the fund. So it was a very good return. 12-month, that should say published, I apologize. Return on the OPEB statement was 16.99%. So all things considered, I think the fund is doing pretty healthy. Christine, you and I had attended that last year, kind of after, when everybody was kind of panicking about the markets dropping and so on and so forth. And they did express a strategy of, trying to continue to buy in that down market. And it does seem to have done pretty well. You were able to attend the most recent one, correct? Or was it Becky?
Yes, no, I did. And really they're super interesting meetings, and our fund manager really has a is a wealth of information. And I would, anybody that wants to attend these, really, I think you would be blown away at listening to this guy. He really has a great outlook, and the things that he shared, about headwinds that we may see down the road and tailwinds was really interesting stuff. So yeah, it was an excellent meeting, and they're at the Plymouth building where the commissioners work. So it's not a real far trip if you wanted to go to the next one.
Okay.
And I believe that we always, because I attended that with Sean and Becky
Mhm.
last year, but I'm not Becky, with Christine, but we usually send these invites out to everyone to be sure, but we'll make sure that when the next one is for the members to attend.
Do you know when the next one is?
No, it's
No. They usually give us about 45 days notice when they're going to hold one.
Okay, yeah,
So,
I'd be interested in going too.
great.
Yeah, it was a lot of good stuff. And I took a ton of notes. It really was interesting.
Sounds
So-
good.
And just to confirm, Megan, this is in the members packet. Yes. So this information is for everybody. Thank you, Sean, for putting that together.
Thanks, Sean.
Yep. And what I'll do is I'll be maintaining that on a month-to-month basis. If it works for the committee, what I'll do is I'll just I can do a trailing 12 months. We can track it by quarter. Just let me know what we want to see, and I can easily manipulate the chart to show what we really want to be paying attention to.
I think on a quarterly basis, it'd be great.
Okay. All right.
Okay, thank you, Sean.
Yep.
We don't have any questions. I'll move on to number 4, reporting to council requirements.
Charlie?
Sure. So we were just happened to be reviewing the declaration of trust the other day, and we noted one of the items included in there was the requirement of the trust committee to report to the council on an annual basis. So we wanted to have a conversation today about what does the committee recommend that the reporting look like to the council. I think as a start, the item that Sean just presented with those graphics and the change in the fund performance that would be accompanied by a letter of correspondence from this committee to the OCPC executive committee or council president, for example, might be a good way to start, just so they have it as a record.
Yeah, that
To
sounds
notify
good.
this requirement.
Mm-hmm. That sounds great, Charlie.
Yeah,
Good suggestion.
Is that something we would look to do every quarter?
Well, it looks like from the language in the trust, it says on annual basis, so
Okay.
perhaps once a year, perhaps in January might be a good time
the end of the year.
on the
Yep.
calendar year.
Yeah. I agree, because like I said, whatchamacallit, they're gonna, at that point we have we'll have December statement, we'll have the ability to kind of track what the year's return was, that sort of thing. So,
Can
Yeah, no,
I interject on behalf of the council? This is Becky Coletta. My only question is, I would somehow want to target it to points in the year or the time of the year when the council as a whole would have to vote on budget and funding our ongoing commitment to putting money into the OPEB trust. So I don't know how we link those two things, but essentially we just need to know where the trust stands when we have to make a decision about taking money every year out of operations to continue to fund the buildup of the trust.
So on
So-
that point, that's when the budget is prepared, is like March, April, May. But if it's based upon having that information, say in December for January, you have that information ready for the budget. But Charlie, what were you gonna say?
Well, one of the things that Brenda reminded us of strategically the other day when we were talking about this is like, hey, every month in the financial packet for the council meetings themselves, we actually report out on the fund performance on a monthly basis. So on the annual reporting, we have that number, but we do have it on the trailing month on a monthly report to the council. So that could inform the budget. It's closer to reality. Like Sean mentioned, you got the 1.5. So when we're looking at the budget in April, for example, we'll have the preceding month performance, and we could log into the account to get the
And then
real-time
balance,
value
yeah.
too, to inform the budget conversation.
So
Something
Becky,
else to consider, and I was going to talk about this in open discussion, was not just for instance, we currently budget $60,000 a year as a contribution. But I do think we also need to be, aware, certainly as the committee, and I think we need to make sure that we need to make the council aware of how much retirement spending we're doing on these types of benefits outside of the trust, because at this point, all we do is make contributions. We don't make any withdrawals. And again, that kind of gets incorporated. Well, it doesn't kind of, it gets incorporated into the cost of fringe benefits. When we do the budget process, it's included in there, but it might be worth breaking that out just so people have a cleaner understanding of how much we're spending on those costs. Did I confuse everybody?
it was pretty
Yeah,
silent,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think you explained it, Sean.
True.
Again, so I think what Charlie had brought up is that there needs to be an official transmittal. That would be in addition to the annual reporting the monthly reporting that Brenda does. And we just need to have, I don't know if there's a formal vote, but it's in the trust. And so Charlie says the suggested amendment, just so it's solidified and we can put that on record about how we will transmit that.
Do we need a motion to approve?
I would.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve? I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Thanks, Pat. Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thanks, Sean. Mary, we have a roll call?
Yes, Christine Joy,
Except,
Stephen Santrasonio,
Accept.
Pat Chiamella,
Accept.
Charlie Kilmer,
That
and Sean Noel.
Accept.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Moving on to item number 5, records and files requirements.
I forgot, Charlie. I think on this case is that just because we have become so active as a OPEB trust, just to have for record keeping separate out from OCPC financials. It's part of it, but yet at the same time, maybe I'm going to have Charlie. It's been a day. Maybe Charlie, maybe you can just elaborate on this.
So one of the things is, the OPEB Trust Committee is its own distinct entity responsible for the oversight of the investment options for with PARs and the like. So one of the things in the Declaration of Trust talks about record keeping. So as Mary spoke of, we just like to have specificity on where the documents are actually kept in the office, to make sure that there's a separate drawer, file folder section in the fiscal office. I know we have the Google Drive set up as well, but that's one of the items to have available for public inspection. If council members want to come in and take a look at the records, they can do that as well. So I think it was just more of just clarifying where and what are actually kept and where that is done.
Is there like a designated key holder for that information, so to speak, when someone comes in?
I think it could be like a file drawer. I mean, there could be,
Yeah.
I think the idea is having a designated file drawer or cabinet with all the information. I just think it to the point of having it be separate, which is easily accommodating. But I think just to bring it up to this committee as we continue to peel that onion of all the different requirements and criteria, we should, it was brought up that we should in fact have it separate.
I believe we currently, Brenda, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe right now we currently have things existing in two places in the finance office. There's a drawer where the reconciled statements are. And then there's another drawer where any records of deposits are kept. We can easily consolidate that to one place in the finance office that's easily accessible. I mean, if you would like a committee member to be the key holder for that, I mean, that could certainly be me. It would make the most logistical sense. But if you want somebody other than a committee member to be, somebody independent, that could be Brenda.
Now, Charlie, you mentioned the Google Drive. Is that available to everybody on the council, or is it just the staff and stuff?
There's a council Google Drive.
There is, so there's information there.
Thanks, Megan. I know you're going to pull that up.
Yeah,
I was
we also
wondering if you
have a full, like we have a few different ways to access the Google Drive because we have the OPEB. I think you guys have your own technical email, and then we have the OCPC board, and then the council. So like the board is where, oh, sorry, I need to put it in as a, oh, I'm realizing I'm not even showing you guys anything because I'm on the wrong screen. One second.
I think
See the kids.
My
here's
niece.
here's what I thank you, Megan. And we can, so
So
this is
It's a-
in the OCPC.
this is in, so OCPC's Google Drive has access to it, but this is the OCPC board account, and it has its own separated out
Yes.
folder. But
Correct.
anyone has access to it that has access to this.
Yeah, we haven't put much in there, obviously.
No, I think I don't know how up to date it is because I do know I've been updating it in like when we have our meetings.
So what I would recommend, just because there's
Okay.
some additional work and it is married kind of to each other, that if in fact I'm going to look to Charlie and Sean as sort of the OCPC related staff to help Megan, help and Brenda, anybody, just so we can get this uploaded. So but this is the finance meeting. You're in the OCPC shared. But if we go to
Yes, sorry, I was showing there was a folder separate from there that had OPEB stuff in there. So, but to your point, I think things are in a few different locations that need to be centralized more.
Okay.
But I think what we can do is, in fact, share this link with all the members of the trust. That's Christine, Pat, Stephen, Sean, and Charlie. And then once they have that, they will all have access, so they can just double check to see what's missing. Obviously, staff is available to help upload anything else, but it would be in recordings, just to the point that Charlie was making, that it should be all in one central location.
I'm emailing you all now the editing link.
Yeah, I think you should have, the Google Drive and also have some sort of, I'm sure you have some sort of filing system that's available. If anybody, I think in most cases, people would check the Google Drive. Most people, I think, would.
I would think.
Just to make the information available to them.
Yep.
But also have a file that's available in case somebody that doesn't know how to use a Google Drive or doesn't have a computer or whatever, that they could come in or something. If they needed to check anything.
It's a good suggestion, Pat. And I think that when, I would say our board from a couple years ago, who may not have even known about email systems, but now,
Right.
We're all pretty tech savvy. I think the Google Drive partnered with the filing system for the very purpose, as Charlie started to say, it's a separate entity. Even it's under OCPC, but it's a separate entity. So
Yep.
And we don't need to take action on that, do we, Mary?
Nope.
No, okay. So with that said, I'll move on to number 6, future meeting schedule.
So I think it was previously mentioned, maybe to really just put on the books, looking at calendars today. It talked about quarterly meetings. I think that was the last time the conversation, so it would be helpful to get, since this is the first time we're meeting in 2026, is put those meetings on a calendar. I don't have any specific suggested dates, but we're sitting on January 27th, so if we look at sometime in April, right?
Mhm.
We look at April. And we're sitting on, I mean, we could do it right before the finance meeting in April, if that makes sense, just to,
Mm.
for those that real. So
Well,
that,
that does make sense. It kind of kills two birds with one stone on one
Right.
night, you know?
so
Yeah.
that would be April 28th. I just want to check while we have everybody, does that work for Pat?
Yep.
Yeah.
Works for me.
April 28th?
Yep. That's a Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah.
It is, so the next time would then be, I think, August, right? But we don't usually meet in August. I'm open for suggestions, but I mean, that would be,
Maybe July, and sometime in July. Do you meet in July?
we don't, we take July and August off, but
That's
Okay.
true. You guys did it at the same time as the annual meeting. You did it like everyone came, you sat beforehand. So even though
Well-
it's only a few months after April,
so the annual meeting, is, if that works, is June, 24th.
Yeah, so that would be 2 months after.
Yeah, and then have the following one in September,
Right?
Yep.
And then,
either December, January again.
Yeah, because
Right.
we don't normally meet in December, so
So January.
January, we prepare the
It's-
annual report.
it's sort of quarterly, but it gets you there.
Yep.
So are we talking about, just so there's a date, September 29th?
hmm
Yeah, that sounds good.
And if, obviously, if there are more meetings that are required, you can always hold more meeting. Apologies, I'm looking at my hat. It was cold here in the office, so I'm looking like a little, I don't know, igloo. All right, so April, June, and then September.
Right.
Again, that was April 29th.
Let me go back. Sorry, Pat.
Yeah.
April
sorry.
28th,
Thank you.
28th.
April
we'll see at
28th,
5:15.
then, thank you. And then June 24th, that's the annual meeting.
That's a
Same
Wednesday.
5:15? Is that Megan? Your thought?
Well, we usually do 6, so
5?
I would say 5:30.
Okay.
Well, let's do 5:15 because well,
You know what? Put it on for 5:15, and if it
and
will give,
we'll address it closer to if we need to change it. Yep.
and then September 29th,
Yeah.
Which is a Tuesday again.
correct. And just
So it's
at
Tuesday,
5:15.
Wednesday, Tuesday.
Oh,
Sounds
that's,
good.
thank you. For the June 24th, that's a Wednesday.
I'll send out a placeholder calendar invite and we'll have it where the call-in information gets added after just because it's typically aligned with the council call-in information. So at least you have it on your calendars.
All right. Stephen, I
Sure.
think that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And moving on to number 7, open discussion.
I think, Sean, you kind of
Nope.
covered some of the information. Is that right?
Yeah, so just to make the committee aware, while we do contribute $60,000 per annum to the fund, we're covering, most recent calculations would be somewhere around $76,000 a year in retirement, and now for the first time, we haven't had this for a while, for the first time, survivor benefits for Ray Garino's family. So that's currently approximately $19,000 a month, a quarter. So again, just so the committee is aware, we are incurring these types of costs, but we are not withdrawing from the fund for the purposes of getting it fully funded. You know, the feeling being is that if we were to contribute 60 and withdraw 80, we would get nowhere quick.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to make sure as we began to evaluate those numbers that the committee was aware of what we were doing.
Okay, Sean, any questions? Nope. All right, if that's it, we have no more items for open discussion. I'll make it a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thanks, Pat.
Second.
No one? Okay,
I was gonna say
Thank
all
you.
those in favor.
thank you. All